Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful and beautiful little subscribers out there. And how I love you all so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious. And that life is treating you most deliciously. So, what do we do? 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 12, 7, 9. My delicious little babies, what's the time, Mr. Wolf? So it's 20 past 7 in the evening, my delicious little babies. I do not expect my video to upload this evening. It'll probably be tomorrow morning, when, well, of course, nobody's seen any of my videos. Mind you, they did see the one where, where I said a couple of days ago that, me dog and bone, got cut off, you know what I mean? Seems to be 37 views for that. My delicious little babies doesn't mean no. Okay, my delicious little babies, what can you see here? It's a circle, isn't it? It also looks like a mare. Now then, my delicious little babies, what mare could that be? What? England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, New York. Do, 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 do. Okay, my delicious little babies. So I do not expect my video to be uploaded until tomorrow morning. Yesterday's video, when I mentioned, Novak Djokovic, well, I've only had 2 views for that, my delicious little babies. Okay, so there we are. We can see the drill here, can't we, my delicious babies? Now then, I'm doubled up. I probably look like Michelin right now. Yes. So I've got a pink jumper and I've got a red jumper on top of it. Looks like China. You know what I mean, my delicious babies? Now then, like I said the other day on one of my videos, okay, the more and more that I've seen of some of how the Chinese are acting now in China, I never like that. Do you understand what I mean? Because when I look at, there we are, and I'm talking straight up, my delicious little babies, when I look at our old Brummyland, okay, Birmingham, right? If ones are sitting out on the street now then, if they go to somewhere like, what's one of the top ones up in the shopping centre from where I live? One of the top ones is Big John's. Okay, my delicious baby. So I'm just giving, an example here. When you see ones who are yamming food, okay, they make sure, there we are, that they eat all the food. So if they're sat there, whether it's a bus shelter, whether it's on a brick wall, bricks, whether it's sat on a brick wall or whatever, he or she, okay, they make sure that they eat the food, there we are, and they soon yam it off. There we are. Okay, my babies, they do not sit there buying their, little square box or pucker pie or chicken and chips or whatever it is and sit there in front of everybody else and yamming the food and then spitting it back out. Okay, my delicious little babies, mind you, looking at the state of China's affairs, my delicious little babies, where ones have to, which I said long time on my videos, okay, where they have to dig out the dirty oil out of the drains now then, maybe, there we are, maybe that could be contributing to what they're trying to, there we are, put across maybe, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean, that they're shoveling it in, but at the same time, they're spitting it out now then, isn't it? Okay. Now I want to point something out. When I was being sparred on, my delicious little babies, okay, and I needed to send my noddle back, you know what I mean, to really go back in time, okay. When I was being sparred on, which of course, there we are, I still am now, my delicious babies, it's not as, let's just say, as severe. Okay, mad delicious babies, but there we are, there's still no everywhere where I'm going. Just like a few days ago, okay, I've yet to speak to those over the back of myself, my delicious babies, okay. The only thing is now, I have completely forgotten to tell you, there we are, when I was talking about other matters, okay, in other videos, for ones to go and take a look at. Okay, because this is not for myself personally, this is for myself, there we are, to get the information out, there we are, for others to look at. Okay, and I'll give a fine example. I was looking on our lovely davidart.com, with anybody not in that way, okay. But the point is, I was looking at one of the videos on there, and it was our dear Richard Willett now. Now, he showed a photograph of a dear woman, you know, when he was showing his video, and he was okay, there we are, I'd already seen that. It was brought up on my feed, there we are, several times, okay? And each time I thought, you know, shall I really dive into this or should I not? That is where I feel, there we are, my delicious babies, where my videos come in, there we are, handy. Because when I give information on one video, you scroll down, there we are, then you're going to find something else. Now then, it could have just been, oh, bless you, dear Richard, not in that way, It could have already been that he'd already seen it, but, you know, from what I'm gathering, at the end of the day, the fact of the matter is, this was brought up on my feed long time, there we are, long time, okay? So if you could please go over to davidite.com, okay, my delicious little babies, then scroll down and you'll see the one with dear Richard, okay, because you've got dear Jamie, dear Gav, which of course our lovely dear David's dear lovely sons, okay, and of course dear lovely friend Richard, and you'll see there we are, exactly the woman who I'm talking about, my delicious little babies, okay. Let me get back to the matter in hand. So over there, over the back of myself, my delicious babies, I'm walking around with a beautiful little rib cheese because my beautiful little Maisie Moo, I do not feel she decided to walk around that day, mind you, she could have done. And I happened to be looking at the lake, you know, the entrance to the lake, okay, and somebody out of a bottom flat, who's the only ones who I've seen walking there, because I know that there's a little Asian family upstairs, okay, who moved in, I don't know, a year and a half, whatever it was, a clock ago, okay, my delicious babies. But he's a Chinese man and an English woman, okay, and I remember clocking him a few times, okay, and he literally, the window was pushed out, you know, like you got a window like this pushed out, and it's like he literally got a camera and click. Now, in my noddle, I thought, you know what? I thought, shall I go and knock on the door? There's somebody at the door. There's somebody at the door. But so what I'm going to say now in my camera, my delicious babies, so I'm not talking to you, okay, my delicious babies, okay, this is to whom it may, there we are, to whom it may concern. Please let them know over the back of myself. That doesn't mean no. I'm pointing over the back. There we are, that they're going to get a knock on the door from myself. And I'm going to be asking them, whoever that was, okay, it's probably the man, okay, the Chinese one. Because from what I've been hearing on other, there we are, videos, my delicious little babies, that ones will only spy whether they're in England, you know, Chinese now, right, or in another country, if they have family members or something like this now then. So if they're asked to spy on whoever it is, okay, if the Chinese man or woman is single, she's came into another country, she maybe doesn't have much of the family or she doesn't talk to them, it's not going to affect her. So if the Chinese government, there we are, ask her to do something or ask him to do something, they're going to be done saying no. But if somebody's got a family now, okay, then they'll say, okay, well, basically, words to effect, then we just go after your family. So you just be done doing this for myself. Do you follow me? Martin's babies. So this piece of shart, there we are, is one of those. So yes, to whom it may concern, please let them know. There we are. And let them know good that I'm going to be, there we are, knocking on their door. Okay, I left it that day. I kept looking back. I actually stopped and I kept looking back because I thought, you cheeky fucker, man. You cheeky little fucker. Not only that, but there was a tiny little wooden chair, which was just up the road. One of my neighbours outside her front on the path. My delicious babies. And I remember walking past it, a little wooden one, you know, with like little metal legs. And I remember walking past and I thought, oh, is somebody else giving me, there we are, giving me more information now then. So the next day I went to walk around. Where was this little wooden chair with the little metal legs? Over there with that little fuck. There we are. Who took the fucking photograph of myself, cheeky bastard? Right? And then I walk around today and then it's to do with an Asian family just up the road now then from myself. Look at that. What have you got? It's not English, Irish, Scottish and Wales. It's English, Chinese English, and it's fucking Asian now, isn't it? Well, that same little family there now then, okay, who I'm talking about, little Asian family. I do not know enough about these two little fuckers. But this little Asian family up the road, okay, I seen them yesterday, you know, when it was all snowy and everything. I was in my Dunlop Wellington boots, you know, when we in our old England, my babies, okay, used to have proper, there we are, work and production. Are you following me? My delicious babies. Yes, oh, look at that, the eagle. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. No message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make the change. To whom it may concern, isn't it? There we are. Now I'm done saying it. Maybe some are not all the fucking cups in the cupboard, isn't it? Ah. Right? So going back to this little family now. So anyway, so the little mama bear was walking little baby bear, you know, in these little shiny black shoes. I thought, well, this is really snowy out here. It's very slippy. When I was wearing my Dunlop boots, you know what I mean? Size 5. My delicious little babies, you know what I mean? So I said, come here, little baby, come here. You know, the mama bear was there. So I said, good afternoon. I said, come here, little baby, come here. She had little pink gloves on, you know what I mean? I was looking at the little shoes on the feet and I thought, my word, where's your little Wellington? There we are, where's your little Wellington boots? Anyway, it's not for myself to chat business, you know what I mean? I'm just done saying it the way it is with my little daughters. You know what I mean? They always had raincoats. They always had thicker coats. They always had hand fur coats. They also had little Wellington boots. And then they had different boots, different shoes, different flip-flops, different, you know, for all different occasions, my delicious little babies. Do you follow me? Yes. So I said, come here, my little baby. I said, come and hold my hand. And she did. Bless her beautiful, dear little, oh, such a sweet little baby now. She must only be about 3 or something like this. So I held her hand. I said, come on now. So I said, come to your mama bear. So then I got, you know, and the mama bear, you know, held her hand. She said, I said, have a lovely day, okay? Well, of course, you know, they got broken English, you know what I mean? Martin's babies, a lot of broken English, okay? And that was that. I seen them today, Martin's babies, okay, you know, walking up the road when I happened to be walking down the road. And that same little baby now that I've just been talking about, she's there with a, you know, like an elder sister, probably about 5.5 or something. They're only little babies, bless them. And she said, hello, lady. That's that little baby there now. She went, hello, lady. Okay. Bless her. So I said, oh, and I tapped her on the head and give her a little hug and give her a kiss just on the head here, you know what I mean? And then I said to her older sister, sorry, I said, I said, come here, give her a tap on the head, just give her a little kiss on the head, give them a hug, you know what I mean? And they were all smiling, and the mama bear was smiling, you know what I mean? But that little chair stall thing now was not far from their home as well. My delicious babies, do you follow me? Yes. Okay. Not to mention all the balloons I've been seeing everywhere. All different colours, my delicious babies. You got pink, you got orange, you got yellow. Yes, there we are. Yes, I am following. Okay. Right. But getting back to the, let's just talk about spitting. So when I was being sparred on my delicious babies, especially up at the old shopping centre, you know what I mean? Ones that walked past me and they'd spit at me. Well, I remember seeing, just draw a line down it, okay? Videos of the Jewish, to do with the Christian, in Israel, and they used to spit as well. Is that where spitting came from, my delicious little babies? You know what I mean? Because if you look at other cultures over the decades, very sadly, okay, they developed this spitting business. My delicious little babies, do you know what I mean? See, I was never brought up like that. You know what I mean? If you have mucus, phlegm on your chest, we call it phlegm. If you have phlegm on your chest, if you have a cough and you need to cough it out and you're outside, okay, usually one would have a tissue in the pocket. Then they would, politely, there we are, this would all be done politely, and then they'd spit it into the tissue, took the tissue up, roll it up, and then wait till they got to a bin or wait till they got home and then disposed of it. But no. What we've seen over the decades, my delicious babies, it seems perfectly acceptable. There we are, to just spit to the side of your my delicious babies. You follow me? I mean, please do not get me wrong. When I was being sparred on, they never spat at me, okay? Because to spit, there we are, at myself, that would have then caused, there we are, some sort of, confrontation. Because one would have said, which I would have done, well, why are you spitting at me? You don't know me from Adam. Do you know what I mean? So why are you spitting? So there was none of that. So I must be honest, there was none of that, okay? But nevertheless, it's somebody trying to, there we are, throw the weight around, isn't it? Okay? Or to tell myself, well, we can see you anywhere where you go, we can watch you, we can spy on you, we can do whatever we want, okay, fine. But I always say, there we are, what goes around, come around, isn't it? So who has ordered all of this with myself? And by the way, I'm seeing more and more and more, especially down at the nursery. Oh, there's rather a large hole that's been dug there. Okay? Just not far from myself. Well, I won't be talking to those neighbours again either, my delicious little babies. Do you know what I mean? My spirit wasn't taken to him for quite a while now. I'm not talking about my immediate neighbours. Okay? I'm talking about just a little bit further up, just a little bit, just a tiny bit. Maybe a couple of gardens up, you know what I mean? My delicious babies, yes. I noticed there's 2 little flipping potholes there as well, in the grass. So, no, sorry, not potholes. They look like golf holes. Okay, my delicious babies, okay? So, yeah, so I can see, there we are, what the crack is. But, yeah, to whom it may concern, tell them over the back from where I live, because you already know, there we are, where I live, that there's going to be a knock on their door. And I'm going to be knocking on the others' doors as well. Okay. And I'm not going to tell anybody when I'm going to do it. Okay. There we are. I'm just going to be done doing it. Okay. I just land. There we are when I land. Okay. But I'm just going to ask them politely. why are you, there we are, doing this to myself? What is your objective here? Oh gosh, that's a large word. Sorry, Mads, little babies never needed stumble there. You know what I mean? Never swallowed a dictionary. You know. What is their objectives here? What are their reasons? There we are, for doing what they're doing to myself. Okay, Mads, little babies. So anyway, so that's that. Anyway, let's change the subject now then. So when I had my washing machine repaired, Mads, little babies. Well, anyway, I've got to mention this because on the 7th of January 2025. Anyway, the dear man now, bless him, he came to change the motor. So he had to lift the washing machine. It wasn't lifted fully. It only had to be on a tilt to put the new motor in. Okay, Mads, little babies, which cost me 100. Well, it was 100 in it, but I paid 110. Ching, 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 change. Well, anyway, since then, there's been like a leak. Okay, Mads, little babies, so this leak has now reached my hallway. Okay, it's not like leaking where it's pissing out, you know what I mean? It's just, it's very visible, sorry, before I get me a lino put down in the kitchen. Okay, so now it's just wooden floorboards. Anyway, so now I've been told, well, I'm going to bring a hose just in case it needs a hose. So I asked politely, there we are, I really asked politely now. I said, well, hold on a minute. I said, but before you came to put the motor, I said, then there was no leak. I said, so what I'm saying to you is, I was being very polite now to little babies, okay? So I feel no way. There we are, okay? I said, so I don't see why I should have to pay for a hose when it wasn't leaking previously. And he says, yes, he says, but are you listening to what I said? I'm listening to what you're saying. He said, but if I have to get a hose, do you follow what I'm saying, Martin? I said, so what I'm saying is to him, I said, so what I'm saying to yourself, with all due respect, I said, is that why should I have to pay more change? I said, when it wasn't leaking before you put the motor. And he said, but all I did was lift the, tilt the washing machine to put the motor. I said, yes, but it wasn't leaking before then. Do you follow what I'm saying, Martin? Babies, doesn't that remind you of an old-fashioned saying? Please do not get me wrong. I love my beautiful little washing machine. My dear dad bought it. Me bless his dear little soul. And I love my beautiful dear little dryer. I love my beautiful dear little cooker. It's not a fashionable one. It's an old-fashioned one, but it was bought with me with love. It was bought for me, with love, and it was second-hand. But it was actually bought for me, out of beautiful, good intentions, and that was years ago, my little baby's car. So, and I love my little vacuum cleaner. They're not expensive. Do you understand what I mean? My point is that before, I'll repeat again, before the motor was replaced and the washing machine was tilted, there was no problem, isn't it? So what I'm saying is that why should I have to pay for a hose when I haven't caused a problem? Are you following what I'm saying to you, Mads, baby? So in other words, someone could come along, something's broken down. There's no fashion saying, that's what I just wanted to say, Mads, babies. If something isn't broken, why try to fix it? There we are. It's the most old-fashioned, decades saying going, Martish babies, but in this case, if something's broken and then you tilt and then you repair it and then you put something back in that needs to get the washing machine working again, well, when you gently put the washing machine down, it shouldn't have a trail of water, should it, Martish babies? This is what we're seeing. There we are, going on in the world right now. Okay, so in other words, you look at all different countries around the world, Martish babies, there we are, and you look at decades ago, okay? If somebody's dealing with their own country, that's my dryer, I've got to go shortly, Martish babies, okay? It's stopped, bless it. The fact of the matter is, if somebody is in another country, okay, if they have different rules in their country, however they operate, however they rock and roll, okay, we in our countries cannot do anything to help those, very sadly, if they are going through hard times, because at the end of the day, it is their there we are, it is their country, isn't it? So really, they should be left, there we are, to deal with their own country. There shouldn't be other countries going in when something could be broken, okay, and then you could try to, well, usually these fuck everything up anyway, but you could try to repair something, and then you got a larger leak and it fucks up everything else even more. So it doesn't just fuck up one thing, it fucks up other fucking things as well. And that's what I've got right now, Martin Baby's okay? And that is what we've all got in our countries. Okay, so I'm not going to forgive my swearing. No, I am not. This is what is going on. So let me just make it plainer. Right, so if you go into a country, right, and say things now, let's just look at another. Let's just put aside the other dirty things that go on in some countries, okay? And let's put aside some of the, the unsavoury things now, like not feeding them and everything like this, where nobody should go hungry because there's full and plenty for everybody, okay, in the world, okay? But to whom it may concern, it clearly doesn't feel that way, okay? They want everybody to feel like we're on the poverty line and we're poor. Well, actually, they're fucking all of us right now. Okay, left, right, and fucking centre. Okay, Martin, little babies, there we are, big fucking times. Okay, right? But get back to the matter in hand. So if you go into a country now, right? So it is broken, but it's not broken. So therefore, why go in trouble? There we are, another country. That could be any country. Martin, little babies, just leave it the way it is. Leave it where it is. Step out the country, mind your own fucking noddle, mind your own business and trap away, isn't it? Jog on. Okay, this is what we're dealing with. There we are. I'm hoping that I made it, there we are, in simple things, as simply as I can. I could say, I'm sorry for swearing. I mean, my beautiful dear babies who listen to me all the time, mind you, they've really strangled me with these videos, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? They're very selective, okay? But that's all right, that's all right. I'm not swearing at yourselves, okay, my delicious babies? What I'm saying to you is this, and anybody who happens to stumble across me, okay? I'm just making a very fucking fundamental, there we are, point that for all the countries now, there we are, they're getting fucked left, right, and centre, okay? Right? And so sad. But for decades, fucking literally now. And that means all of us, whether we're white, whether we're black, whether we're Asian. Okay? And this leads me, I'm going to be as quick as possible now, to what I want to say. Okay, my delicious little babies, that doesn't mean they're just got an itch, okay? So I'm not going to apologise for my swearing. No, I'm fucking not. I'm getting rather pissed off now. Right? Because we've got that much shit going on, okay? Nobody's fucking damn well addressing it, okay? We got fucking paedophilia to fucking high heaven, there we are, which is what we've had for fucking decades. We got fraud going through the fucking damn roof, right? And then they want to fucking tax all of us out here when they're the biggest fucking fraudsters going, right? Then they fucking talk about fucking drugs now, and you got the ones in the fucking world like the World Health Organization, the biggest fucking drug pushers fucking going. Don't even fucking go there with myself. I'm just done, there we are, telling it the way it fucking well is. And this leads me to this, my delicious little babies. So this uploader happens to have, where am I? Yeah, join the fucking dots there. 23.6 thousand subscribers, my delicious little babies on YouTube, okay? This uploader, have I wrote it down? Just one moment, please, Mad. I'm just really blooming, okay? Right, okay. It's called I have wrote this one down, my delicious babies. UK in capitals, space, capital T, true, space, capital C, crown. That's the upload of my delicious babies, okay? This was only a day ago, this video, my delicious babies, okay? I'm going to read it out to you, shall I? 4 million. Now, for some of the alternative media, there we are, they will know about this. Others, my delicious babies, you may not, okay? Me personally, I never knew about this because I do not follow, but anyway, certain gets in the news and, certain clearly doesn't, does it anyway? But as I do not have a television, okay? I do not see, do you understand what I mean? I had to go through different scrolls to go to different things to get to this. And there were 2 other videos I want to mention, okay, before I got to this one. Okay, my delicious babies, case, it wasn't just coming up on my feed, not at all. Okay. 4 million British Indian pill factory exposed, yeah. After DEA tip unmasks London warehouse, London in our old England, Mards, little babies, okay? And just let you know, it's called, put it in brackets, Puzzle Logistics. That was the warehouse, Mards, little babies. It was called Puzzle Logistics, okay? Now, what was going on here, Mards, little babies, okay? Is that there appeared to be a small little family of Indian, the father, I think the son and the uncle. I don't know how this rock and roll. Anyway, I've heard it anyway. I'm just too flipping annoyed at the moment with everything, okay, my washing machine's just one thing. I'm pissed off about what's going on about everything else, okay? This can be rectified. The fact of the matter is, okay, can everything else in the world with other countries, how they've been fucking left, right and centre, and had the resources, had everything fucking taken from them. They're stripping till a fucking bear, man. And then they get them to live off, what, $1 or $2 or $3 a day. They're fucking damn rink, man. Okay. So, yeah, I am fucking pissed off about it all, okay? And I can certainly understand, there we are, why other countries are fucking pissed off about it, because so would I fucking be, okay? Now, we got shit in our own country. A lot of, there we are, fucking shit going on. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay, but have us in our generations, my generation, my dear dad's generation, my dear Mama Bear's generation, how I love them so beautiful, Nana and Granddad's generation. Did we cause all of these problems? No, we never. We know who fucking causes. There we are, isn't it? So getting back to this video now then, my delicious little babies, okay? So I'll repeat again. 4 million British Indian pill factory exposed after DEA tip unmasks London warehouse, UK true crime, that's the uploader, and in brackets, Puzzle Logistics, yeah? If you look at some of the comments, my delicious babies, okay, that's ticked off, okay? The fact of the matter is that most would never have even known it even existed. But that's gone out onto our streets, onto every single city, which is our Brummyland, London, Brixton, everywhere, Croydon, okay, everywhere, you name it, okay, it's gone out. Okay, my delicious babies, not to mention if ones were buying online and feeling that they were getting, some sort of decent medication. This is just like a fucking printing machine, just like fucking over in Born in the USA, printing fucking paper and then fucking charging fucking interest now. And then when they talk about inflation, I had it clearly spelt out to myself. And for years I said to myself, there's something wrong here. And I had it clearly spelt out to my beautiful dear little spirit guards, sorry, no inflation. If you look at in our Brummyland, it used to be called Birmingham Mint. I mentioned this before, when he used to print coins and print all different things. Now then, okay. So this is no fucking different, isn't it? So at the end of the day, what these did, imagine the fucking harm it caused. But they're still doing it abroad, in India, in China, and everywhere. They're shipping this shit. And then you've got others, so sadly, there we are, consuming this shit, not knowing what it's going to do to their bodies, bless them all. And I will say that. I know that there's some in the world who couldn't give a shit about someone who takes drugs. I've met many. There we are. In my decades, I've met many. They say, well, I don't feel sorry for them at all. Okay, fair enough. When they're on heavy drugs, okay, they can cause a lot of problems for the families, and that means thieving, tea-leafing, stealing. They do anything. They beg, steal, borrow just to, get the ka-ching, just to pay for drugs. Okay, so we have to look at the other side with the families. There we are as well, my delicious little babies, because it affects everybody. It doesn't just affect the one who's taking the drugs. It affects everybody else around them, whether they're family, friends, work colleagues, whatever the shebang may be. But these now, okay, so it seems that there were caught and they were being surveilled and spied on. Well, the fact is, so what I want to know, and this has gone on for decades, my delicious little babies, why does it take years, decades, to spy on somebody? So somebody's doing wrong in whatever country we're in. If you know that they're doing wrong, okay, you do not need to be surveilling them for months and months and years and hours and days. Especially something as serious, there we are, as this. I mean, this looked like the real McCoy. My delicious little babies, these tablets, you would have passed them off as looking real. It's disgusting. I mean, there's men out there, my delicious babies, so no offence to any dear men, dear gentlemen out there, okay? But this is damn well true, okay? And I've seen plenty of it and heard plenty of it and read plenty of it. They sell these Viagra, like men who cannot get an erection. Well, I mean, come on. If you're walking around with an erection, flipping all day, and you cannot get rid of that erection, but there's nothing else happening, well, that's something serious, is it? And it's these type of flipping drugs, there we are, that do that. Because a man should have what you call a normal erection, which means that when they wake up in the morning, usually 9 times out of 10, it will stand to attention. But it'll stand to attention because it's saying, right, I need to get out of bed, I need to go and empty my bladder, and I need to, do you know what I mean? Okay? But you imagine, then a man can have it, right, this is all just coming, I'm just rolling it all off. This is not rehearsed, my dish babies, okay? But you imagine, so then they spend the rest of the day, they probably have a shower, you know what I mean? They're probably just washing themselves down. You got your old floppy disk down below, do you know what I mean, my dish babies, your old free card, and you're just having a shower and everything, you know what I mean? Everything else like that. Now, yes, men can have this, what you call, I'm not sure that it's every 30 seconds that they think about having a rumble in the jungle. I'm just not too sure about what they say here. Remember the number 3, okay, Martin babies. But should they get some sort of form of arousal in some way, okay, well, it's usually there. Well, it takes a while to build up, doesn't it? And then, of course, it builds up. And then, of course, then the act is performed in a loving way, it should normally be, but not what we hear in the world, Martin babies. And then in some cases, in some countries, including in our own country, in England, Martin babies, okay, there's a lot of nasty, dirty things, okay? But the fact of the matter is, I'm talking about whatever our definition of normal is, that we would usually say that then once some been in a loving relationship or whatever, then they have had a rumble in the jungle, that then it will calm itself back down. Okay, my baby. So no, I do not find this funny. I'm not laughing about it. There we are, because this is extremely serious. But then you'll get some men, okay, this has been going on for decades, my baby, and it's got worse. Because then they go to online like this, my delicious babies, okay, thinking now, that they're going to get something. Say, for example, if they're having a bit of a problem with their free card, okay, my little babies, and maybe they're needing a little bit of help, like Tesco's. ding, ding, every little helps. Okay, my delicious little babies, and then in the hope that this is going to help them. And in some very sad cases, they walk around with a constant erection. Nobody can help them with that matter. It is extremely serious. And what's worse, they cannot get rid of it because it's like a blood flow, isn't it? It's all vessels and everything, isn't it? It's like blood vessels. Well, that's extremely serious. I'm not sure about the women's side of it. I haven't really looked into it. Mind you, I haven't really looked into this deeply, but I know that we are deep enough to know what I'm talking about. Okay? And no, I have never been out with somebody who had a permanent erection. I'm not sure I'd ever want to go out with somebody with a permanent, to have a boyfriend or court him or get married to somebody with a permanent erection. No. It's all meant to be natural, isn't it? In a very loving and sensual, and caring and respectful way. Not like this kind of thing. So you imagine. Then you got others on the streets, my delicious babies, where they're walking around like fucking zombies. Okay, my delicious babies. So no, I take this extremely, extremely seriously, my delicious babies. Yes, I do. This is somebody's son, somebody's daughter, somebody's niece, somebody's nephew, somebody's auntie, somebody's uncle, somebody's grandbairn. Very serious indeed. And when these are making ka-ching, ching, ching change off others, there we are, misery. But the question is, how did they get away with this? There we are, up until that time. Can you see what I'm saying, Martish babies? Can you see the damn fraud that's gone on for fucking decades? Anyway, Martish baby, I'm not going to keep going on for much longer because we're on 41.50 at the moment, okay? Or was it 40? Yeah, it is, yeah. Right, next one. 819,000 subscribers, my delicious babies. This is called, in the old YouTube, my delicious babies, capital R, radio, space, capital F, free, space, capital E, Europe, then /, capital R, radio, space, capital L, liberty. So it should read, once tapped into the old space bar, my delicious little babies, okay, should anybody happen to have any form of an interest, radio free, Europe, radio, liberty. Okay, the video should read, inside Pakistan's conversion factory for Hindu brides. Yeah, this video's, I think it's a few year old. Okay, my delicious babies. This basically where young lasses now they get stolen basically off the street from their families. Okay, there's one dear dad who lost two daughters. Okay, apparently they had my lights were flickering then. Okay. Spirits in the house. Haven't done that for quite a while now, delicious babies. Anyway, the fact of, there it goes again. Okay, did you say? The fact of the matter is, thank you, my beautiful spirit, doing it again, sir. Okay. The fact of the matter is, my delicious babies, is that this one poor dad now, Papa Bear, there we are, flickering again. Trying to get his daughters back, but both have been married off. Now, there seems to be an older man now who seems to think it's perfectly all right to find these young lassies. Is 100 a day or is it 100 whatever? Okay, to find them husbands and to convert them to Islam. Babies. Okay, so anyway, very interesting, that video. I think it was about 13 minutes something. Okay, the first one, I think that was about, that wasn't long. I think it was about 13 odd minutes. These are not long videos, my delicious babies. Next one. This was 7 months ago, and this is under France 24. The video was only just over 31 minutes, my delicious little babies. This one here should read, okay, Pakistan, broken innocence, an exclusive investigation, stumbled there, into sexual violence at madrasas. Okay, my delicious baby, so I'm just going to repeat that again for you, shall I? Pakistan, broken innocence, an exclusive investigation into sexual violence at madrasas, okay, on YouTube, France 24, 7 months ago. Now, what I've got to say here, this is about young little boys, bless them. and they're all trained to read the Quran. Okay, but we got the same with all different religions, the Bible, all different things now. It's all a religion, it's all like a cult, and it's disgusting in my view, because it's not taught what I feel naturally, whether it's the Christian, but anything. Okay, too much has been twisted, too much is nasty. Okay, and we have to look at the way that these young little bands are being taught. No matter what religion, no matter what's going on, we have to address this. We have to look at this. And one Papa Bear, one Daddy Bear, he very sadly lost his 8-year-old little baby because he got threw off a roof. And this is from one of these so-called teachers who had raped him. Raped the little 8-year-old. Mad, delicious little baby's car. And this poor dad wanted justice. What did he get instead? All of that teacher's family and friends threatening to kill him. Okay, he wanted to take it to the courts, some kind of, well, it's all in the name, solicitor. Okay, wanted 3,000, what is it, rupees, whatever it is called, okay, or rupees. And he said, I haven't even got 10 rupees. Okay, but the fact of the matter is he couldn't get justice for his own beautiful dear little son, and that piece of shit is out on bail, teaching all other little young babies. What is it? Take your pick. The price is right. Fucking little bastard, man. I could think of many things. I'm not inciting anything to deal with these pieces of shit in society, no matter what country we're in. I could think of many ways. There we are. You know what I mean, Martish Babies? Like I said, I'm not inciting anything, just for the YouTube channel. Okay, Martish Babies. Now then, I'm just going to just be very super duper quick, okay? The next one, please take a look at the video. And by the way, please read the comments, because let me tell you, there are lots and lots and lots, there we are, who all seem to be, there we are, singing ding, ding, dong, dong off the same song sheet. That doesn't mean no. So not everybody can be wrong, can they, my little babies? But the thing is, it's going on, like I say, in all different colours, whether you're white, whether you're Asian, whether you're black, no matter where it is, there we are, this kind of dirty business is going on. Okay, and I feel, there we are, that this, there we are, must be addressed. Okay, this must be, there we are, this must be talked about and not just swept under the carpet. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, you go into a country, whatever country, there's going to be problems in different countries, isn't it? It's common sense, ding, ding, dong, dong, common sense, isn't it? And some things now we cannot change. But the fact is, we've got it in all countries. There we are. This is a damn well, there we are, serious problem. Little babies should be able to go to bed, have a bath or a shower, brush their teeth, have clean clothes on, have food in their tummies, okay? Have hugs and kisses on the forehead, you know, from their families, okay? Then have a little bedtime story, then be tucked into bed. They shouldn't have to be worried about what a dirty, filthy paedophile adult is going to do to them. They shouldn't have to be worried and then to be scared and then to go to bed, you know, that these dirty little fuckers now then threaten them. No little baby should have to live like that, ever. No matter what fucking colour. None of them should. I'm very, there we are, passionate about what I talk about. And if ones don't like my swearing, they don't like anything, fuck off from my channel. And I'm being very polite now, so I do not mean this nastily. So this is anybody who listens, sorry, to myself, okay, who knows me, or to anybody who doesn't know me, but they listen to my channel, there we are, well, you know, whenever they do, okay? So I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, if someone just wants to flick on my channel now, okay, they don't like my words, fuck off nicely. Because I'm talking about, there we are, ding, ding, dong, dong, very serious fucking damn situations that have been going on for fucking decades. There we are. And this must stop. Because this is causing a lot of heartache for anybody who so sadly manages to live their life, they've usually got, bless their beautiful dear little souls, not in that way, mental health issues when they're older. Others very sadly commit suicide. Others very sadly, well, they do not get to that age, they get murdered anyway, you know what I mean, so that they're shutty, shushy, shut their trap. This is very serious, man. Very serious, and not to mention our beautiful little babies who we call our sons and daughters, how they're treated out in the world. Not to mention, there must be a stop. There must be a stop to all of this. It must not continue. This is not a good world when things like this happen. It's damn disgusting and putrid, man. There's worse words I could use. I'm just going to... Right, 291,000 subscribers, my delicious little babies. This is called William Donahue. So for some of you, my delicious little babies, and the alternative media, you will know this, but for others of you, you will not. Donahue with one N. Okay, my delicious little babies. The video should read, 619, we are electric appliances. Yes, there we are. I've been done saying this for how many years? If I was to rub my hair for long enough, okay, we used to do it when we were little. You rub your hair for long enough, then your hand, your hair, sorry, I never need to stumble, your hair would stand on end. Because that's all the electricity that's coming from ourselves. It's like I could stand next to somebody else, when we were little. You could stand next to somebody else, whether you're in the park, whether you're at school, just innocently, you just stand, because you're only little, you know what I mean? But what happens is, all of a sudden, your flipping hair will stand up, and then you stood next to somebody else, and their hair stands up, and sometimes your hair will join. It's like, I could stand next to somebody, right, and I could get electric shock off them. So I've been saying this for decades. But anyway, it's very interesting, just over 54 minutes long, my delicious little babies. Anyway, sorry, excuse me. I do want to really mention this, okay? Sorry, this is the final one, do forgive me. And thank you so very much to anybody who does listen to my videos or puts a like or anything. The most important thing is to get this information. It's not about me with subscribers. It's about getting information that I'm giving. There we are, that I'm giving out. That's the most important, okay? So the final video, my delicious little babies, please and thank you, please. That's all I ask. Nothing more, nothing less. That's all I ask. That's it. Okay, I'm so passionate about what I talk about. Okay, right, I'm not just going to keep going. Right, okay. This uploader happens to have 2.3 thousand subscribers on YouTube, my delicious little babies, okay? And the uploader is called capital T, the space, capital S, sketchy, space, capital M, mans. Okay, my delicious babies, the sketchy mans. Okay, that's how it should read once tapped into old YouTube. Should anybody happen to have any form of an interest, they're all very interesting. There we are, videos to take a look at, my delicious babies. Okay, and the video should read the hidden story behind all eight blood types, and in brackets, and what yours means. What I want you to look at when you first look at this video, my delicious babies, which is, everybody has a title to the videos, okay? Or, they have some sort of, I don't know, picture symbols, whatever. Sometimes you have your birth race, like myself, like this now, okay? I want you to look at the symbol next to each one. Now, I noticed with A positive and A negative, it had a heart. Then with others, they had like a fist. Then with others, well, there was one where it had the brain. Okay, my delicious babies. Now, what was not mentioned there was the RH. Now, apparently, there are very few who have this RH. Me, personally, I'm not fully believing. Ones can believe what they want to believe, okay? But anyway, it turns out that the O's, they seem to just keep striving on when, there are some, not all, but some other ones that seem to be phased out. That's basically what I'm saying to you, my delicious babies. Okay, the question is, well, why? okay? But this, whenever they put RH, well, what's RH? I mean, I haven't looked into it. I mean, it could be could something be rare? Well, we've heard this many times, haven't we? When something's rare, it's really not that rare at all. But when you look at O positive and the O, yeah, okay, that helps. In the world. So if somebody needs a blood transfusion, which in reality nobody should ever need a blood transfusion, my delicious babies, it's just another hooking racket. There we are. Okay, my delicious babies. Anyway, I thought I'd just leave you with that, but it was very interesting when I looked at the different symbols next to the bloods, whether you're A positive, A negative, or AB, whatever it is, who makes up this. But it's very interesting to see who, there we are, it appears stands the test of time, my delicious little babies. Anyway, so that's the end of my video. Like I said, I'm not going to apologise for my swearing. I refuse to apologise, okay? If one's feel offended by anything that I've said, which of course none of my videos are here to offend. I'm just here to, there we are, to address matters, there we are, that need, there we are, addressing. Very sadly, my videos do not, there we are, get a lot of traffic. I understand that, but like I said, I'm not here for subscribers. I'm not here for any of that. I'm here to get this information out, and for it to never be forgotten, whether a video is 4 years ago, whether it's 13 years ago, whether it's 10 years ago, whether it's 6 years ago, whether it was yesterday, makes no difference. The fact is, I need to get this out. And it's all a case of putting everything together. And by the way, I want to just say something else. Like with all the army, I've mentioned this before. Anyway, I want to just refresh everybody's noddles, please and thank you. Like where all the army, like in the First World War, the Second World War, did they all pass away? Or could there have been a little bit of organ harvesting? Like go to sleep, they've got a leg amputated, you know what I mean? And then they've also got a kidney missing. The drill, my delicious little babies. Could it be now at the moment, trying to shove everybody out on the front line, which of course these wouldn't send their own, would them my delicious little babies? Is there a bit of a shortage? Yeah. Ding, ding, dong, dong. Just a question, my delicious little babies. There we are. Food for thought. And on that note, I'm just going to love you and leave you, okay? So I think I might do my video, puzzle logistics. I think I'll put the title to that. Because if you look at it, it is a puzzle, just like something's a maze. But the thing is, there's only one way in and there's only one way out, just like when you do a puzzle. Usually, you can start at the centre, but if you start at the corners, it's usually better, because you start at the corners, then you work your way in. Okay, my delicious babies, there we are. That's the way I've always done it anyway when I was little. Anyway, my delicious babies, you got all of the Thomas the Tank Engine, trains and everything like that now then. Do you know what I mean? There were certain puzzles, which captured one's noddles. Maybe for some of you, there we are, maybe take a look back if you enjoyed doing puzzles yourself, my delicious little babies. There we are, then you're going to ding, ding, dong, dong, get exactly, there we are, what I'm saying. Okay, my delicious babies. So on that note, whether it's morning, afternoon or evening, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies. Sending peace, love, harmony and bright blessings to each and every one of you. May your beautiful little selves, your beautiful little families, may you all be fully protected. One last thing. Yeah, I just started to watch UK Column. Bless their beautiful dear little souls, not in that way, because my beautiful dear little David Ark and the beautiful dear little family, not in that way, guy. But they're talking about the old chicken spots, this jibby jab. There was a dear elderly gentleman who I know up the road from myself, and known him for years. I did mention to him not to take anything, my delicious little babies. Anyway, he's had a terrible fall 2 weeks ago. He's walking now. He can hardly walk at all, my delicious babies. I offered to help him, He came across the road at a very slow pace to say, I'm so sorry, I never sent you a fake Crimbo cake card back. sorry, Mardish babies, that's my words. He said to send you. I said, I'm not bothered about that. I'll just send it. Do you understand what I mean? So I did it for years. Okay, he's elderly. And I said, would you like me to help you across the road? He says, no, I'm okay. But he looked terrible. You know, he had all black eyes here. He's had a very nasty fall. Okay, Mardish. He's certainly not the same. Could it be that they have offered him due to being elderly? Because we all know what they want to do to the elderly, Mardish babies. The old flu jibby jab. Do you know what I mean? Okay, because he's certainly not the same gentleman who I've seen, say, a month ago. Okay, Mardish babies, anyway. Very sad what's going on, isn't it, Mardish babies, when they want ones not to talk about what happened, you know, in decades gone by. Do you see what I mean? They do not want anybody who remembers anything. All they want is these new, you know, technic little babies to grow up and just to learn AI and chat and that poxy grok and anything else, you know, that is very sadly thrown at our poor little babies, you know what I mean? And this is what, there we are, we must put a stop to. Now, when I put my video up, Mardish babies, it's usually going to come up blank. It usually does. I forgot to tell you that, Mardish babies. So, you know, when I'm putting the title, it doesn't show my birth race. So if YouTube is not happy about it, then it shows nothing. It just shows like a blank type, okay? And I have that, there we are, quite often, Mardish babies. So I do not expect my video to upload until tomorrow morning, Mardish babies. But hopefully, there we are, somebody's gonna message in a bottle, yeah, please. I beg you with the Lord of mercy. This is not about every single view, subscribers and nothing. This is about getting these messages out. I'm not angry at you, Mardish babies. It's just I get damn well frustrated, you know. And there we are, damn well frustrated is what I get. Because let me tell you, this is well out of control. And with the Afghans who came and everything, this is very bad, okay? So I'm going to go. So very much love, peace, love, harmony, and bright blessings and protection to each and every one of you. Please take care of yourselves. Please try to take care of others. I've been done talking about this how long. Love you. Take care. Thank you for listening. Bye. And if it is night time, night, sleep tight, wash your bed, bugs don't bite. If it's morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are, have a beautiful time. So much love. Take care. Look after yourselves now. Goodbye.